We gon' break it down one time for our ladies. Do it cause we want to. Ain't nobody made it. We gon' break it down one time for the ladies. For the ladies. For the ladies. We gon' break it down one time for our ladies. Do it cause we want to. Ain't nobody made it. Snap your fingers. Do it still. You can do it all by yourself. Girl, put on that black dress. That's the one that I like. It ain't even about sex. Girl, I just wanna see you tonight. I'm head over heels and it don't even matter, babe. My homies say I'm tripping. They don't really know what I got. Look at my lady. Look at my baby. Ooh, she bad. Driving me crazy. Turn it around one time. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock, 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 rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock, 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 rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock, 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 rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock, 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 rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Even when you wake up, baby, you don't even need no makeup. I just wanna spend some time. Let me look in your eyes. I admit I never really knew what love was. Now I know. So let me show you what my love does.
Appreciate y'all for
So let
tuning
me
in.
boost you.
About to have some fun, y'all.
Girl, you so on point.
Y'all done put
Ooh,
those
yeah,
kids
got
to
the
bed.
juice, juice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the way that you walk. I love the way that you look at me. And I'm sorry, baby, my fault.
And if you tuned into
Girl, I
the
just
music
wanna
right now,
admire
check this out.
you.
It's my brother Jason Stevens, single Admire You.
Girl, I just
Hey yo, we
wanna
want y'all to
admire
go
you.
download that right now.
Right now.
It's crazy.
Girl, I just wanna admire you. That's all I do. That's all I do. Girl, I just wanna admire you. 'Cause all I do is think of you. Girl, I just
What
wanna
up, y'all? What
admire
up? What up? What up? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Girl, I just wanna admire you.
Man, that joint go crazy, right? That joint go crazy. Turn it down a little bit, baby. There we go. That joint is wild, man. That joint is wild. So y'all, thank you for tuning in. This is our very first episode of Grown Folks.
Wrong folks.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to have fun with this, y'all. So this is a marriage and relationship podcast.
Right.
I need some water. Relationship podcast. And we're going to have fun with this thing, y'all. So we had a few people that asked us to talk about a topic. So we're going to dive into it. We want to see who all are, chopping it up with us right now. We see we got 11 hearts. Okay. All that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we having fun with this thing. So, let us know how long you've been married, whether you single, all of that. So this is going to be on YouTube and we're doing a podcast. So all of that, y'all. We're going to have fun with this. Y'all ready? So the topic tonight is communication. Communication, y'all. Communication. So go ahead, babe.
I just wanted to start out by telling you all a little bit about us.
Yeah.
Because some people may not know us.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I am Monica, and this is
Keon.
We have been married for 10 years.
10 years, y'all. 10 years.
So, we hit that milestone in just this past month.
Yeah.
We're in June now.
Yeah.
May the 28th. And so, that was huge because thinking about the society that we live in now, you don't see a lot of people that's sticking in there.
Yeah, you don't.
And one of the important factors that helps you make it is what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, communication. Now, mind you, 10 years. So what you're seeing now is not even a finished product, but we're better. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I probably had one of the biggest problems coming in, not knowing how to talk, just saying whatever. My family, we bold. We say whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the Bible say, honor your wife as a weaker vessel. I had an issue with that because I didn't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to do it. So when we're talking about communication, this is from not that we've achieved some type of success beyond yours, but yet we learn how to manage ourselves. So that's what it's really all about. So hopefully y'all can relate to that. Hopefully y'all can really, really like, vibe with what we're saying right now.
Right.
So yeah, my wife has a lot of questions.
So I reached out to some friends and some different people, and I asked them to send me questions about communication.
Yeah.
And the floodgates open for the women.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to learn how to communicate.
Fellas, I got
with
y'all
you
though.
guys.
I got y'all too though. Yeah, I got y'all. So before we counsel a lot of couples. I ain't want to get into the questions just yet.
Okay.
We are going to though.
Okay.
So what's the number one thing in communication? Everybody say, men don't talk, right? I ain't gonna lie, y'all. When women tell me that, like when they come to us for counsel and they tell me he don't talk, my issue is, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm like, he don't talk to you. He talked to me, like has no problem whatsoever talking to me. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like speaking for us brothers, I got you fellas, I got you, right? So speaking for us brothers, it's like this, like the fact is, like, why don't people just go out and fight fires? Why don't people just go out and do, just anything they want to, because they're not good at it. So we genuinely, most people in their careers, right? In their whatever field that you're in, right? It's been because somebody told you that you're good at it. Right or wrong?
That's true.
That's true. So if you're, and I'm not saying, ladies, that you're doing this, because it may be flip-flop. It may be a guy that's doing this.
Right.
But if you're telling the person that they're not good at something, I'm going to refrain from anything I'm not good at. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to refrain from it. But you got to understand something. And I didn't want to get into this just yet, but what are you talking to him about? What are you talking to him about? That might be one of the issues right there. That might be.
And let me just throw this in for the ladies. Since
Okay, let's do it.
What he was saying was,
I'm going to get us a little bit more light.
Okay, maybe he's not good at it. So, if you tell him or you're coming at him from a certain angle, making him feel that he's not good at it, then maybe that'll make him talk less.
Right.
But at the same time, that's not an excuse for the men.
Yeah.
Just because you're not good at something does not give you a way out or a free pass.
No, fact.
So let me just throw that in.
Yeah, but also
we're gonna be talking for the ladies and the men.
Yeah, for sure. But also you got to realize this too. Like it may not be. Some men are good at communication.
Right.
Some ladies are not so good at communication.
True.
And some people are they're used to talking at people instead of talking to people.
That's true.
Right? So one of I got you fellas. I got you, dog. I got you. I got us.
I got you, ladies. I got you.
So one of the major issues that we all have is learning how to communicate.
Right. That's the main thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because your conversation is contagious. You feel what I'm saying? Your conversation is very contagious. So how are you communicating? Because if you come at me with attitude, you better believe it. I got some attitude for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but likewise, we have to learn, and I had to learn this my first 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That, you know what I'm saying? That if you first seek to understand and then seek to understood, the conversation will go well. But if we are both trying to get our point across, that's going to be a major issue. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a major issue. So yeah, that's the main thing. So what you got for that?
No, I think you said it in a nutshell.
Okay.
If you can first seek to understand.
Okay.
So trying to understand where the other person's coming from and then seek to be understood.
Yeah.
So, that's difficult to do in the heat of a moment sometimes, but just trying to bring it back to that is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's be honest, most of us men have not, how can I put it, have not seen a male figure communicate effectively. Now, we've seen men talk. We all in the barbershop. We see men talk. We have fun, blah, blah, blah. But effective communication is the difference. To me, that's the difference maker right there. I knew how to talk to my wife in a way, but effective communication made the major difference of how to solve a problem instead of just getting an answer, if that makes sense.
Because men and women process totally different.
Totally.
So understanding how the person processes things is part of the communication, because we as women, we go like deep into, and we want to know why, and we want to know how, and we want to understand their feelings and why do they feel this way, and You see his face.
Bruh.
And they're just like, no, like what in the world? Like overload, you
Like,
know?
why does that even matter? Some of those, but here's the thing too. What I found is, and check out the comments too, baby. What I found too is that a lot of women, and ladies, this is no, coming at you. I'm not coming at you. No shade, none of that. But a lot of women talk around situations and still don't really get to the root cause of the situation. Like I always thought that, and correct me if I'm wrong, please feel free. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always thought that women. Y'all, see? She checking it out. My bad.
I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to check that.
Turn the volume down. So we live. You see what it is. We live. So
yeah.
But
Situation. Like,
there you go. Hit the volume.
All right,
there you go. We in there now. We in there. So
we're trying to see these comments. Too,
yeah,
okay?
yeah. That's the main thing.
Because we got a lot of facts.
So my fellas chiming in. Okay.
Yep.
See, they didn't talk. Y'all say they don't talk. That what I'm
wow,
talking
we got
about.
a 7-year marriage. You know, people chiming in. You asked how long they been married. Jamie and Bree, 7 years. Miss Katrina Robinson, 18 years. 18 so you know there's a lot of wisdom in those years.
We got to get you on here because we need help.
Yeah, Ray and Tasha 5, 12, Jason and Rachel. So
okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what's up. See, that's the thing. But I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Now, this is one of the major things. Y'all know it's hard to make an imprint without a blueprint. So, are you giving grace to each other? Like, if I don't communicate well, right, and you do, are you giving me grace in what I don't do well? Because I think that's one of the major issues. Like, if you know I'm not a great communicator, you know, I have a gift. I have something that I'm better at than you, right? But I don't hold that over your head. So are you giving me grace, the same grace that you require?
And I think that's important.
Yeah.
It's very important to give grace to a certain extent.
Uh-oh.
Just like with God's grace. Like, you don't take advantage of that grace. So, for example, this is an example that I'm going to give. So, when we got married, I wasn't a big cook. So he had to give me grace, right? Like, okay, I had to give you time to learn how to do this skill, right? Grace. But after a certain amount of time.
That butt was serious, wasn't it? That butt was black.
After a certain amount of time, that grace is going to start to wear a little thin because you're hungry. And so you're not getting fed in an area. Yeah. And so you can't go hungry in an area but for so long before there's something, there's something needs to be fulfilled there. And so that's an example.
So let me ask you this. In that example, because I like that example, but in that example, if you're learning to cook, right? I'm giving you grace in learning to cook, right? I'm eating it. Okay? I'm eating it. So there's sometimes I might eat something burnt. So we're exchanging grace at that moment, right?
Right.
We're exchanging grace, and that's what I'm saying to you. Okay. Like in that, like there's a strength that I have, there's a strength that you have. We definitely don't have the same strength. God looked at me and said, "Oh, there's a problem he has," and He gave me an answer. Isn't you right? So in that, we need to exchange grace. I'm not good at this, but I can get good at it. I'm not going to sit in not being good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean.
I think you hit the nail on the point.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to make sure you were saying too. Is I'm not going to sit in that. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And just because
I'm not good at
grace.
it.
Keep giving grace. Yeah.
Nah,
I'm not good at it because after a while it becomes an excuse.
No, for sure. All right, so. Anything you want to say, baby? Any topics?
No, I'm laughing at Jason. He told me your face, Keon. When we saw the cooking.
Hey, bro. Listen, but we had to give grace. There's things I didn't do well. I cook like grandma cooked.
He's a really good cook.
But that didn't mean I was because I have a strength doesn't mean that I was a great husband. I had to find that weakness and add that to a strength because she had areas that she was great in that I was not. You know what I'm saying? Let's just being transparent. I was a great cook. I wasn't good at finances. I wasn't good at stuff like that. She was great at it. Right. So I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to talk about finances and all that too. Right. But that's the main thing, y'all. Like, we got to be able to, the areas that now I'm much better at money now. Much. Yeah. That's what you see. Hence the sneakers. You see the sneakers behind it? Yeah. I'm great at money now. Yeah. But I wasn't always there. So that's what I mean by giving grace to one another. Right. We have to be able to do that. Now, I got a topic. We got to be able to have these, and you correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, we going. This is not rehearsed, y'all. So listen, we grown folks. That's the whole topic, grown folks. So, because this is not rehearsed, this is just how I feel about it and how I've seen us overcome. This is not the gospel, but it may help someone. Okay. Right. So here's the thing. I find that a lot of people, because they want to keep the peace, they run from arguments that could help shape and sharpen their marriage, because we've been told that arguments are bad, right? That's not always the case. God told us, men, and I got to say this. God said, blessed are the peace makers, right? Not the peace keepers. With that being said, if you just allow chaos to go on, right? I'm going to just be quiet. I ain't going to say nothing. There are times that we need to do that, right, but not all the time, right, because there's things that God put in us to bring order, right? Right. And so with that being said, like, we got to be able to open our mouth. And my whole point by saying that is that a lot of us run from arguments, right? Because we're afraid of issues. We're afraid of stuff coming out. But let me ask you this. I'm going to give it to you plain, fellas, in the area that I know you understand, right? So let's say this. What if your favorite football team said, you know what? We're not practicing no more. We're not running any more scrimmage games because we don't want to get hit. We don't want to hit each other. How foolish is that? So we run from arguments because we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to get hit, but yet we don't want to get better.
And I would like to interject there. For sure. What you were saying, I think that, you don't necessarily want to have an argument, but a disagreement is okay. It is okay. It's okay. Well, I guess it's my interpretation. Yeah, for sure. I would think an argument is more like arguing, going back and forth, like in an argumentative way, versus disagreeing. Like, I don't agree with what you're saying, but we are talking and communicating about it. Well, yeah. So I understand where you're coming from. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But think about that. So many people run from that. Well, what we have, and this is just being honest and us being transparent. This is what you're going to get here. This is us being transparent. We don't run from arguments. We've learned to argue well. Disagree, argue well. We learn to argue. See, I tell you it ain't rehearsed. And to me, I had to, because here's the thing. If I run from an argument, if she runs from an argument, I'm not going to say nothing to him because I don't want to hear his mouth. But it may save me. It may help me, but yet she don't want me to get an attitude. Nah, let me get an attitude so I'll be better. Here's the thing, y'all. What I always say, the pencil's number one and best friend is the sharpener, but yet it doesn't want to get cut. How is it ever going to see the point? My wife sharpens me. My wife makes me better. I sharpen her. I make her better. We have these hard conversations, right? Mm-hmm. We have very hard conversations. She tells me about my issues. I tell her about her issues. But here's the thing. I know what will damage her. She knows what will damage me. And I guard her from me. Right. That makes sense? Yeah. And so the most important thing, though, is how you do it. We're going to get into that. Yes. So we're not saying, he's not saying, it's okay to like argue, like go back and forth because I need to tell you what's wrong with you. You need to tell me what's wrong. The most important thing is how you disagree with each other. Like you don't agree. You don't agree on a topic. Yeah. So you can communicate with each other in a calm manner. Yeah, effectively. Effective communication. And that's just not how I feel about it. And again, like how he said in the beginning, seek to understand, then seek to be understood. Facts. So you will ask the person, can you explain to me a little more what you're saying and why do you feel this way? Yep. And really honestly try to understand where they're coming from. Absolutely. And then you seek to be understood. Okay, I understand where you're saying. I may still not agree with it, but I did hear you out. Yeah. Now you hear me out. And let me explain to you why I feel the way I feel. Absolutely. And at the end of that, you may still not agree. Yeah. And that's okay. And that's okay. There you go. And that's where we're coming at it with, like, we all know that you got to agree to disagree. But in the same breath, like I seen this meme earlier, it had me laughing. It said, me and my wife agreed not to argue before we went to bed. Not to ever argue before we go to bed. It's like, we've been up for 3 weeks. Wow. You know what I'm saying? But think about that. You know what I'm saying? People wide awake because of that. And it's like, bro, just say what you got to say. You guys come to an agreement. Work it out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I do love about us, y'all,
one thing I do love about us is the fact that we, both of us, have learned to rush to apologize,
Right.
whether it's our fault or not.
Right.
Because in the beginning, we were very immature. We were like, okay, well, I apologized last time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was like, okay, but who's keeping score? It's only two of us, right? So we have to be able to mature past that. So I want to hear from y'all. So what's some areas of communication that y'all want to know about? Some areas that, you know, we're going to be transparent. We're going to be 110%. We're going to give it all to you. So let me know what it is that, whether you're feeling what we're saying, whether you're not, whatever, make sure y'all go to Grown Folks YouTube channel. We're gonna really tap in there. I'm not sure we're gonna always do it live on Facebook, but we wanted to introduce it on Facebook for one thing. So yeah.
Do you want me to start reading some of the questions
Sure,
while
absolutely.
we're waiting on them to write some questions?
Absolutely.
So you all are welcome to, send us questions now.
Yes, please.
In the comments. The first question is, why is communication so important in marriage or relationships in general?
Who, Jesus?
Keon.
Oh, it's on me. Why? Okay. Well, I'm gonna be real with you. Listen, y'all. I like to tell stories, right? I like to tell stories and answer questions. I learned that from the Bible. But it's like I've heard a story once, and this is not original, but I heard the story that it was this young son who, and this is pertaining to marriage, it was this young son who his father disciplined him to the point his mama couldn't stand it. Like not whipping him, but he would say, the guy would be, let's say he home playing his PlayStation, and daddy would be like, hey son, come here. He would just jump up and run in. Hey dad, what you need? He's like, never mind. I just want to make sure you coming. And he would go back and he would say, hey son, come here. And it was getting aggravating to the mom. Like, why are you bothering him? But God told him, make sure you do this. He didn't even know why. He was just being obedient. So, and this is going to tie into communication. So, make a long story short, he did it for like a year, not knowing what he was doing, just continuously doing that. One day they were all at the park as a family, having a good time, and this vehicle was coming fast. The son was in the middle of the street playing. He said, son, move. And because he obeyed his daddy's voice, he learned to obey his daddy's voice quickly, he saved his own life. I'm saying all of that to say, as we are learning to sharpen one another, I learned to trust my wife's voice. When she say, baby, I don't think we need to do that, I'll hear the concern in her voice. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I need to step back. And that will save us. You feel what I'm saying? So if the answer to that question, you need each other. Like I said in the beginning, God saw an issue in me and said, that's not good. You all know the scripture's not good that man be alone. He's seen some stuff in me that wasn't good. He was like, nah, that boy gonna end up killing himself. Let me send Monica in here. And so she has helped me, business, finances. I told you about that. But just being a better man. And so that's what communication is. Vice versa. We help each other.
Right.
So if you are growing, you feel like, okay, well, dang, I'm tired of talking. Are you tired of breathing? Are you tired of living? Because you're strengthening your marriage. I hope I answered that.
Yeah, I think you did. You answered that good. So we just got one from a listener that's listening now.
Okay.
We mentioned earlier that you may disagree, and at the end you may still disagree.
Yeah.
This person said, so what do you do when that happens, when you agree to disagree, but it's still no resolution?
We move forward. We talk about it at a later time, but we make sure that it's not aged anger.
Yeah.
We talk about it. Hey, listen, you still feel the same way you felt. We make it fun. We make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very sensitive issues. I don't want y'all to think that we have the answers to everything. Sometimes they're very sensitive issues, and I treat it accordingly. Most of the time, if it's sensitive, it's going to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just more of a sensitive person. Mm-hmm. Not nothing bad about it. That's just the way God made her. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, if I might laugh at something, y'all know I'm silly. I might laugh at something that may be sensitive to her, and she may not understand it. So I'll wait, give it time, make sure she's okay, and apologize. I don't have to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, I didn't do nothing wrong. That's fine. Yeah, you were laughing, but it hurt her. So God told me a long time ago, if it's real to her, make it real to you. And so that's the thing I would say.
Can I add something?
Sure, absolutely, babe.
I just want to add to that, the answer that he gave, which was wonderful. that sometimes what we can't figure out, like why we can't get on the same page or why we can't understand. And it's times like that you really need to take it to God in prayer.
Absolutely.
And ask him to work on your heart and to work on his, the other person's heart. And maybe through that, the Lord will reveal something to you or give you understanding or give you clarity in something that may have been your eyes have been shut to. So I think in those situations too, it's important to take it to God in prayer and ask him to reveal to you. Because there's been times that I just could not see things Keon's way at all.
Absolutely.
Like I could not understand. I couldn't see it his way. And I couldn't even make myself see it his way. Mm-hmm. But then later on, like after talking to God about it and just really, focusing, what does the word to say about this? What is, digging more deep than, deeper, then I realized, oh, this is where he was coming from. Yeah. And I began to understand. Yep. And then at those times I'd go back to him and say, I understand where you're coming from. Thank you for your patience with me.
Yeah.
And so that would be another part of the answer.
Yeah, very
I would say
good.
take it to God as well.
She beautiful and wise. You about to end this early.
You silly. Ray said, Ray and Taja.
What up, y'all? That's fam right there.
The Lord gave my wife and I the word harmony. He explains that it allows us to walk in oneness, but respect each other in the individual selves. So that's really good. Thank you so much.
I love that. That's awesome right there. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Any more questions?
Yes. All right. So, how can you tell if you are a good communicator?
Look at the results. That's all I'm going to say because I can argue and I can state my point. If it hurts her, then I'm not a good communicator, or I didn't communicate well at that moment. Does that make sense? If I look at the results of anything, I mean, I'm like, okay, why is she hurting? I said what I had to say. I was right. And this is what God told us, right? You could be right or you could be righteous.
Oh, righteous. Yep.
And that's to me, that's the difference. And like I said, y'all, we don't have all the answers. No. Whatever we don't know, please in the comments, there's somebody else that I'm sure been married longer, right, that can answer the questions better. Yeah. We're just here to help anybody that's in relationship, wanting a relationship, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Awesome.
All right.
Here we go.
Getting a little more juicy.
Now. I'm scared.
All right. So how can a person control their aggressive reaction when a possible trigger has been pulled? Ooh. And what if it's not a trigger, but something that they just don't like? How should both parties respond?
Both parties. Ooh. Jesus. You want to take that one?
So let's see. So how can a person control their aggressive reaction when a trigger has been pulled? I think first of all, you said it. You identified that there's a trigger.
Yes.
And so when you know what your triggers are, I believe that you could better control your reaction.
Absolutely.
Because that's a trigger for me. He knows that's a trigger for me. And guess who else knows that's a trigger for you? The enemy.
There you go.
Right? So he knows that's a trigger for you. So in knowing that that's a trigger, you know how you usually will react. Mm-hmm. It takes you out of your norm, out of your usual element. So you have to then, when the word tells us that we have to bring our flesh under subjection. Yep. These are the times that the word is talking about. Mm-hmm. So that's when you have to say, okay, I want to explode or I want to go off right now, but I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. And even if you communicate that to them, maybe they don't know that's a trigger. Maybe they forgot that's a trigger.
Yeah.
So you could say, that one was tough because that was a trigger of mine that really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But I know that you wouldn't mean to hurt my feelings.
There you go.
So can we deal with this? And there's been times that Keon helped me deal with my triggers.
And vice versa.
That my triggers, and he would say, that stems back to such and such.
Yep.
And you have to be open
to
listen if someone's trying to help you with your triggers too.
Yeah, that's I love that answer, baby.
Says.
That's a great answer. I have nothing. You answered that one. You answered that one very well.
Okay. So this is funny. So this young lady sent me, we were doing questions, and she said, these aren't questions, but these are some of the petty thoughts that run through my head. And so I just wanted to share them because there may be other people who have these thoughts that run through their head.
Talk about it.
And maybe the men need to know that.
For sure.
Okay.
Please don't put nobody in the body bag, please.
So the first thought, petty thought that a woman had in her relationship is, do I have permission to record the next time you do this since you don't believe me?
Now see, can I give a biblical answer? Can I give a biblical answer? Can I give a biblical answer?
Yes.
I don't know who you are, but
he don't know. He does not know.
I really don't.
Yeah,
she didn't share any of that, with me, which is good.
Who asked these questions?
We are very confidential. If you hit us up and say, "Hey, I just want to ask this question, but I don't want nobody to know who I am," no problem.
We would never tell. Yeah.
Dang, I forgot my train of thought. What's the question again?
This is the petty thought.
The petty thoughts. Okay.
Do I have permission to record you next time you do this since you don't believe me?
Okay. All right. So biblical. I'm gonna give you straightforward. Y'all know me. Love keeps no record of wrongdoing.
Woo! He came right out.
And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I say that. Because we both have kept records of our issues. Yes. We both have. So the Lord was like, "Oh, you keeping records now? Maybe I should Maybe I should bring out my records of yours." And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want God to bring out the records that I listen.
That'll be no.
Listen, man. So you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, nah. So no, that's not a good thing to do. Now, petty. I know it's petty. It's funny, but in the same breath, you don't want to go down that road. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that.
Okay.
So
I give one more petty response.
Please.
So you say I don't let you finish speaking, but you've been talking so long, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay. So next time, I'm cutting in. So
low key, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Low key, I think Monica wrote that one.
No,
now, I'm in my feelings right now. Now, I need y'all to work through this with me because I feel like Monica wrote that one.
Whoever wrote this question, you know who you are. You got to get me in trouble. You know I didn't write that.
Monica wrote that.
I did not write that.
Hey man, listen y'all. Nah, that because it's funny because that's when we are in our she want to call it a disagreement argument. When we in our thing, she be like, you gonna finish? You gonna finish talking?
Jamie said that sound like Bree.
See what I'm saying? That might be Bree, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
It's not my girl Bree.
Hey,
Bree,
man,
I got you.
Listen,
it's
dog.
Not Bree.
Listen, man. Y'all playing.
Some people laugh, but it's so funny. But because I know homegirl that wrote that, you're not the only one that thinks that. Okay,
which goes to show you everybody feels the same way sometimes. So yeah.
All right, and I'll give one more because these are funny.
These are hilarious.
Let's see. You say I'm cutting it next time. Okay, and then this was the last one. She said, and on that note, we setting a timer. Who has the floor?
Dang!
So apparently,
so y'all
her spouse is a talker.
Okay.
So on that note, let's throw this in. It's very important to be a good listener. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you're in a relationship, and actually communication applies to any relationship. Yeah. So whoever you're speaking with, it is important to be able to listen. I know a lot of times as women, we are already thinking about our comeback and our response to what
Let's
they're
talk about
saying.
that part.
But we have to be able to really not be processing something and just clear your mind and listen.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. I love the way you said that because I was like, dang, women she ain't gonna say that about women doing this and women doing that.
I know we do. We do what we do too.
Yeah, but fellas, and that's the thing. We all have our issues, and that's why we calling it grown folks because we can't expect an adult relationship playing kindergarten games. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be grown folks. We gotta be mature in our relationships, in our marriage. And this is the thing, y'all. This was, I think I don't know where I got it from. I think it might have been this book. I got to talk to you about this book too. But it said a ship is designed to move. And if the ship is not moving, then it's no good for you. Right. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about friendships. You're talking about relationships. Mm-hmm. You're talking about any kind of ship. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's designed to move. So if it's not moving for you, what's going on? It's time to stop the boat, literally, and say, okay, we got to do something different.
Right.
We have to. And so this is the thing, y'all. Like, hang on, I ain't want to talk about this, but a lot of times we need to. This thought came to me today, and I want to elaborate a little bit more on it later. This thought came to me about we can either reset or have resets, right? So when an issue comes up, we can just reset. All right, cool. I'm upset about this. It made me mad. Or recess is like, I'm just going to, ignore it and play around and give the enemy playing time. Right. So a lot of times for me, I have to reset and say, all right, Keon, you cannot handle this the way you normally would handle this, because we all know our flesh, right? Mm-hmm. We all know our flesh, and we all know how we can be. I'm ignorant. So it's just the fact of learning how to navigate you. I always tell people that never be impressed by, and I always tell women this, but single women mainly, right? Mm-hmm. Never be impressed by a man that will fight someone for you. Be impressed by a man that will fight himself for you.
Right.
Right? So I have issues and I know it. So I'm going to fight myself so that we can be together. I'm going to fight my norm, my normal way of being, because I know how to be single. You know how to be single. Mm-hmm. But yet we have to learn to be together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Very good. Let's see. So this was a good one. This young lady asked how to work on your approach. She said, I'm always trying to wait until it's a good time, but it still doesn't work. Your approach to when to bring up a topic or when to communicate on a certain topic.
Well, that can be touchy one, right?
And it depends on your spouse too.
It does. That's what I was going to say. When I was saying earlier, y'all, about learning how to tackle hard situations, like you got to have this practice. You got to have this time to talk to one another, to really deal with the hard issues. You can't run from it. This is what I mean by learning to argue or learning to disagree well. You have to learn how to do this. You can't run from it, because in every issue, in every situation, we're going to butt heads at some point. We're two intelligent, different people. I have my way of thinking. She has her way of thinking. And we did this in the marriage retreat. When you get married, you are literally two people. And I did this at Strong Tower. Shout out to Strong Tower. Yeah. We did this there too. When you get married, if you could see a wedding in the spirit, you have the husband's leaning this way, the wife leaning that way, and all of her family leaning this way, all of his family leaning that way, because of the fact that they raised you to think this way. Mm-hmm. And this one raised, not that either way was wrong, but here's the thing. When y'all come together, you have to decide which way we're going to stand up.
Right.
How we're going to allow God to bend and mold us. And that just has to happen. So in that, it's going to be some friction, and it is what it is, but you can't run from it.
Yeah. And I think it's important to know, like we were saying, to know your spouse. So if you know that your spouse does not really like to be bothered when they get off from work, then you're not going to approach them after work with a hard conversation. If you know that your spouse is a morning person, they usually wake up in a good mood, they're refreshed, and they could probably handle things a little bit better at that time, then that's the time that you're going to choose to approach maybe a difficult conversation. But again, I always go back to praying about it and asking the Holy Spirit to guide you. I mean, I just believe that is so important, because when the Holy Spirit guides you, then he's going to not only speak to your heart and let you know, okay, now's the time. Yeah. But he's also going to already be working on your spouse's heart and prepare them for the conversation. Yeah. So I think that is so important.
No, it is. And ultimately what we're talking about still is giving grace.
Yeah.
Giving grace to one another. You know what I'm saying? If that person, obviously they're not big on that, so you have to give them grace in that area. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that's just what we got to do.
Yeah.
Because marriage, people going to say, marriage is, you get married and you think that marriage is just laying on the bed with your arm around your spouse. I don't even sleep like that, first of all. So you just lay in the bed and everything is, what you call it, roses and unicorns. Yeah. And that's not it. That's not it. You got to be able to face difficult circumstances so that you can have those moments.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, y'all. So
what do you think about this question? How to react or respond when your spouse's answers or responses are not sincere or doesn't seem sincere?
When they don't seem sincere? I would, jeez, that's hard. Oh, I'm out of I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me slide over here. There you go.
I'm not gonna bite you.
I don't know. Just the camera on. I don't know. But no, but if they, I would honestly ask them, are they being sincere? Right? Yeah. Because we could all be wrong. I would ask them, are they being sincere? Is the topic that we're talking about, does it mean anything to you? Mm-hmm. Does it matter that it matters to me?
Right.
Because we all, man and woman, men have to be respected. Women don't like to be disrespected either. Mm-hmm. Right? So we've got to be able to navigate that. Like whatever that looks like. Because I don't know if there's a perfect answer for that. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying?
Because the thing is this. Just because someone does not respond the way you think they should does not mean that it's not a sincere response.
I'm about to record that.
So the question is, how do you determine if it's sincere or not sincere? Mm-hmm. If they keep doing the same thing, saying that they're not going to do it, then you might be right. It may not be, or they may be sincere in that moment and just have a stronghold or something like that.
Absolutely.
But that's hard to answer because that's a subjective thing. That's something that you can't determine. Only it's like pain. It's subjective, right?
Yeah,
no one can tell you how much you hurt. Nobody can tell you if you're hurting. Yep. People can only go by what you say. Yeah. And so that's when you have to know your spouse, and you may be able to communicate to them that, I really hope that you are sincere in what you're saying, but because of your body language or your nonverbal communication, it doesn't feel sincere.
There you go.
There's been times that, Kiana said something and I took it one way and he's like, I really wasn't being smart with you. Yeah. And so, you have to take the person at their word.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact, And like we talked about this before, but what are you guys talking about? Here's the thing. If there's a difference, and we talked about this at the marriage retreat, shout out to Blooming Marriages.
Yes.
That amazing. Tap in with them. Yes. Please tap in with them. You owe it to yourself. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to it, what are you talking to each other about? Like, you got to be able to come into each other's worlds. Fellas, I'm about to say something that, you may not want to hear. But when it comes to it, this is something that I've had to do. Whenever we get into a debate, an argument, and it's one of those that, okay, I can't joke my way out of this. I can't say, hey, you want to go to Walmart? I can't say, hey, you want to go to Target? It's one of those moments. Here's what I do. You have to learn to come into each other's worlds, right? She knows that I love sneakers, right? I know that my wife loves makeup and purses. Mm-hmm. So I legit take her mind off of that, and I ask her, hey, what's the newest purse that just came out? Mm-hmm. What's the newest makeup? And she'll start talking. I'm the same person that she didn't want to talk to at that time, but because it's something that she loves, and I came into her world, you feel what I'm saying? You got to be able to break the ice and be able to, you know what? Let me just squash this. Remember I told you that we are good at knocking out the argument. We gonna say something that's gonna get on somebody's nerve. That's what we do. We married. That's what we gonna do. Mm-hmm. But how can you break the ice? How can you get better? When I say getting better at arguing, that's what I mean. Can you get better at problem solving? Can you get better at making that person feel better about, after the argument, whatever, And
I'm gonna share this little story really quickly.
Pray for me.
There was a time that me and Keon disagreed about something, and I don't know. I couldn't get on the same page with him on it or whatever. And he came to me. I was very mad at him. Like, I didn't want to talk to him at all. I didn't want to talk to him. So he came back to me and he said, Monica, he said, I'm coming to you not as your husband, but as your brother in Christ.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Y'all, like, I never even thought about that. Yep. And that just, oh my gosh, that melted my heart so much that, like, completely whatever I was mad about, like, just completely went out the window. And I was just like, wow, I was so impressed by that, And so I don't know what point I was making, but
but it's a good point.
It was a good point
because who knows somebody might have needed that.
Yeah.
Somebody might be having some friction tonight, and the thing is we got to understand this. There's a and we said this before too. It's so funny that if I tell you that I have a friend coming who is a liar, and the minute you meet them and you start believing everything they say, I'm like, I tried to warn you. Mm-hmm. We know that Satan is the accuser of the brethren. Right, so this is my wife, but at the same time, she's my sister in Christ. So he's going to accuse her. He's going to say all kinds of, and this is the thing we had to learn to really just go against the enemy and realize what's the word we use? I can't even remember what it is. Exposing the enemy. That's it. Mm-hmm. Exposing the enemy. We have to say, okay, baby, like I'm gonna be real with you. Like the enemy gave me this thought, and I legit felt this way, but I just had to give it to her. And she'd be like, well, baby, that's not what I meant. That's not what that wasn't the heart behind it at all.
Right.
And so you realize who you marry. The enemy is going to accuse them. I don't care how good they are as a communicator, whatever area, he's going to do that. That's his job. We have to be on ours. Yeah. My job is to guard her. Her job is to guard me. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it needs to work.
I totally agree.
You know? Anybody who's newly married, take divorce out of your vocabulary.
Right.
Don't even let it be a thing. Take it out. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to walk this thing out.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Absolutely. That's we done?
Someone asked how to listen without reacting. I think we kind of hit on that about controlling your flesh and how it's important to be able to control your flesh and to realize if there are triggers there and to, work on getting rid of those triggers or getting to the bottom of them.
Okay, dope. So I wanted to end this with kind of like a funny thing. I found this scripture today and I was like, men, I know it's been told that we don't communicate well, but we actually communicate right according to the scripture, most of us. Told you I got you. I got it, brother.
Let me hear this scripture.
Now, I'm going to turn it this way so she can't be reading it. You know what I'm saying? So James 1:19. Understand this, my dear brothers and, what's that word?
Sisters.
Okay, so it's for all of us, right? All right, so understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. That's scripture. Now, most ladies, when I ask you a question, you just act like you don't hear me. What if he's slow to speak?
You know what?
Hey, I'm just know
every man a way out. I'm being slow to speak.
I'm being slow to speak.
Now come on now.
No, for real. It takes us longer to process anyway. Y'all want instant answers.
You can't be slow to speak for days though.
Why not? Hey.
No.
Hey man, but I hope y'all enjoyed this, man. We enjoyed y'all. We enjoyed doing this with you guys. So check out Grown Folks. Subscribe, like, all that.
Grown
you know what I'm saying? Share. We appreciate all of you who have shared, all the comments. We appreciate all of y'all. So, we're just going to get better. We're having fun with this. And thank you for allowing us to laugh with you, joke with you, cry with you, make mistakes, all of that.
And shoot us some topics. Just like, people wanted to hear about communication. What are some other topics that you would like to hear discussed? Let us know. And
here's an email. I'm going to give you an email. I made an email like yesterday. So it's a long email though, right? But it's something you can't forget. doinggrownfolksbusiness@gmail.com.
Doing grown folks business at gmail.com. Send your questions, send your topics. Just let us know different material that you would like to see on Grown Folks.
Yep. And we're going to be bringing on other couples as well.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun. We're going to really just talk about different topics. And please, y'all, this book right here, Relational Intelligence. Let me make sure I move my hand out the way. Me and some of the fellas are going to be reading this. Dr. Darius Daniels, excellent man of God, Relational Intelligence. Fellas, we need this book. So, but
Lizzie said that's long. Talking about the email address.
She mad because she can't spell that good. It's all good. Lizzie, we love you.
We love you, Lizzie.
Yeah. So listen, doing grown folks business at gmail.com. It's a whole paragraph. I don't care. Listen, but y'all, we enjoyed y'all for real.
Yes, yes.
Artists, you see, I was playing Jason Stevens. Admire you. Send us your music.
Send us your music.
We'll promote it. We'll do whatever we need to do to get you on. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have fun with this thing, and we love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna go out with Jason Stevens again. Let go.
Yeah, that's my jam. Hey. It's a grown folk song.
Facts.
Look, Christians need love
We gon' break
music
it
too.
down
Oh, facts.
one time for our ladies. Do it 'cause we want to. Ain't nobody made me.
Hey, grown folk.
Hey.
Grown folk.
Oh Lord. Nope. Okay. Nope. We done. Cause she about to do a rap, and this ain't gonna
Look,
be
everybody who know me know.
Nope.
Snap your fingers, do it still. You can do it all by yourself. Girl, put on that black dress, that's the one that I like. It ain't even about sex. Girl, I just wanna see you tonight. I'm head over heels and it don't even matter, babe. My homies say I'm tripping. They don't really know what I got. Look at my lady, look at my baby. Ooh, she bad. Driving me crazy. Turn it around one time. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Rock. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Even when you wake up, baby, you don't even need no makeup. I just wanna spend some time. Let me look in your eyes. I admit I never really knew what love was. Now I know. So let me show you what my love does. So let me boost you. Confidence level on deuce. Girl, you so on point. Ooh, yeah, you got the juice. Oh, I love the way that you walk. I love the way that you look at me. And I'm sorry, baby, my fault. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Hey. Girl, I just wanna admire you. Ooh, yeah. Girl, I just wanna admire you. That's all I do. That's all I do. Girl, I just wanna admire you. All I do is think of you. Girl, I just wanna admire you.